Hello students, in this class we are going to discussing on the concept of parliamentary system. So parliamentary systems. So in the political science we are discussing on the various forms of the government. So in the forms of the government, so it is one of the important concept is the parliamentary form of government. As you know that the parliamentary form of government, for the Indian construct it should be suitable. So the committee of the Constituent Assembly and even the drafting committee, headed by the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, so it is borrowed from the United Kingdom Parliament, that is the UK Constitution. So we directly follow that the concept of the parliamentary form of the government from directly the United Kingdom. So in these systems, the parliamentary form of government, as we know, it given a more important to the three different elements as a legislature, executives and the judiciaries. So we know that the legislature, it is one of the majority of the part in the government, and even followed by the executives and even the supports by the second branch as an executive, it is one of the important role. So in the parliamentary systems, the British ministers forms govern the India. So if we understanding the concept of the parliamentary form of government, so this context, how and which constitution and which country it can be suitable. So these forms of the government and all. So parliamentary form of government given a preferences to the people. So we know that the parliamentary form of government, the word parliament, it can be derived the word from the parlor. That means that to be discussed. That means the people are supreme in this the parliamentary form of government, and even the parliamentary form of government provided the ultimate political empowerment to the people, like a right to vote and right to reside anywhere in India, and even the constitution majoritarily leading that the people of India and the government of India. So what are the features of the parliamentary systems? So the real executives and the nominal executives. As we understand, so in this nominal executive as a president and the real executives as the Prime Minister of India. So in the President of India, so how we elect the President of India in the parliamentary form of government, because President is not a part of the Parliament, Prime Minister only is a part of the Parliament. But President as a nominal head of the state or the nation, but he is the ultimate signatory authority of the nations. But Prime Minister is the real executives, and even who is the head of the government, not head of the state like a Prime Minister of India. And even in the parliamentary system, so there is another feature, ruled by the party. So as we know that once the election commission is conducting the elections, so the result it can be go for the winning the majority political party. Either it may be the alliance government or only the single political party. And ruled by the political party has the majority to the Lok Sabha, and even the parliamentary form of government, as we know that the two different houses as Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. And even the cornerstone of the parliamentary system of government is collectively responsible under Article 75 to the Lok Sabha. And even no confidence vote can be executed in the Lok Sabha only. And even minister have a dual membership in the legislative and the executive members. Another feature is minister have dual membership in the another different branches. And a minister loses their position if they are absent of the parliament for 6 months, because the attendance is the mandatory in the process of the parliament. Either the member of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, he must attend regularly to the various different sessions which is conducted by the parliament. So if he is not a regular the member of the parliament, so automatically within the 6 months the disqualification can be happen automatically. And even the Council of Ministers must resign if a motion of the no confidence in the government is administration is unsuccessful. It is one of the new form of the government. So what are the merits and the demerits? We must understand what kind of the merits and demerits it is in the parliamentary form of government. So the first one is better conditions between the executives and the legislature. Since the executive is a part of the legislature and the majority of the lawmakers of the support by the government, passing the legislations and the putting them into effect the made easier. And the second merit is there is no authoritarianism. Since the executive is answerable to the legislative, subject to motions of the no confidence, and even that furthermore, power is not centralized. The power can be a decentralized like under the presidential form of government. And the decision making participatory, there is another merit, and even the another merit is a responsible government. The ones identify as the parliamentary form of government because it is chosen by the people, and even every minister is accountable to their constituencies and their people, and even the most responsible of their actions. And even the majority of the discussions, a bill, a first reading, second reading, and even some of the motion of the adjournment, so in the parliament it can be conducted according to the parliamentary procedures. And even preparations for the alternative government, even in case of the majority and the minorities, if the government can be collapsed, the opposition party it will be came into power in the support of the majorities. And some of the things like that. So we are just looking to the another part as the demerits. So demerits is a cabinet level is dictatorships. It is a form of the government because cabinet level it is a highly potential and a high powerful department. So we can understand like that cabinet like a it's a kitchen. We use the word as a kitchen cabinet because the very few members can be role and even their decisions can be impacted to the whole government and the whole nation. So that's what it may be the leading role as a dictatorship by the cabinet level. And even some of the ministers may not be the subject matter experts. So some ministers may be they are not qualified as they are what they are holding their the portfolios. If the education minister much don't know about that the educational department and even the policies and what kind of that recent examples, if there is a clashes between that the NEP and the SCP, the minister, educational minister or a higher education minister must know that the differences between the NEP and the SCP and which one is suitable to that the according to that the student mindset and the, even the educational institution. So it is one of the example. That's what he must be a more objectionable, more subject oriented. The subject matter is very, very important to that the choosing the ministers. And even the Prime Minister have few options when choosing ministers because distributions of the portfolios, it is only the responsibilities of the Prime Minister of India. And then another demerits is civil officials have a lot of power. The civil officials means bureaucrats. So we have two kinds of the executives. The one is as election executives and the selective executives. So selected executives, bureaucrats are they are selecting under the UPSC, that is the Union Public Service Commission. Okay, so Union Public Service Commission, they are conducting the civil service examination and that bureaucrats can be working as a parliamentary secretariats. So they are working with the ministers with the proper directions. And we have to differentiation, we must understand the differentiation between the India and the UK. So the people chooses the republic of their leader. So in the Britain, monarch who was not chosen by the populace, that is the people. And even in India, the powers of the parliaments are constrained. But in the UK, it is sovereign body, the parliament. So any one of the house of the members may serve as the Prime Minister of the India. Either he may be a Lok Sabha member or Rajya Sabha member. So in the Britain, the lower house includes only the Prime Minister. And even in India, ministers are not subject to any legal allegation. But here is every minister is accountable to the law, the higher authority. So we just coming to the concluding part. So parliamentary is the key component of our democracy. It serves the respective body of the scrutinize the actions of the administration. In order for parliament to serve like constitutional mission, good operations is essential. A careful analysis by the bill is also a crucial element of effective legislation. Legislation passed without consulting legislative committees undermining democracy. Thank you.